What's happening, guys? Dan here, DD Speed Shop. 55 Nomad time. Well, it's always 55 Nomad time, but today we're gonna finish off the front clip. So I have to weld in all these holes. Now, obviously a Nomad would have had, you know, holes there for the trim and whatnot. These are clearly not Nomad fenders. I don't know if the holes are the same or not. But for the time being, I can't afford a Nomad trim. So we're gonna weld them in. Pretty simple process. I don't know if I have a welding card, but I'm just gonna weld them up. I'm not gonna build any patches. I might have a piece of copper I can put in, then just grind them down and shape them. Pretty simple. So we're gonna do that. I got some paint. I want to take the front clip part and like scuff this all down, paint the inner fenders and the inner lip of the fender. Make that all look nice. When this is off, we'll get right up in here and that was sharp. Safety. Get this all painted as well, just semi-gloss black. And that's the plan for right now. Down the road, I want to put fender walls on this, and my buddy Josh is graciously donating me a set to use and never give back. My only thing is, I don't know how they're going to fit. This side I assume will fit no problem because it's all got to be below the battery. With the brakes, it might be a little tight. It has to fit above the steering and below the brake master and all that. He did have it on his, it was on a 55 Chevy with a small block. I think his motor was in the factory location. Mine's pushed ahead 3/4 of an inch, and he just had, I don't know what he had for brakes. It wasn't power brakes though. I think it was a dual master. I think he had front discs. So be close. Hopefully it'll fit. Anyways, so we'll get all that done and then let that paint dry. And then I think once the front clip is off, we gotta finish welding the rockers because they're not quite done. And I don't know if this will open. Gentle. We got a little bit of, oh no, I welded up there, but down there we got some finishing to do in the rockers, or the sill, whatever you want to call it. And oh, okay, finish in here and stuff. So there's a little bit of love it needs yet, but we're getting pretty darn close. The other thing I want to do is I want to weld this little piece in. So this is what obviously the trim bolts to. It just has like a little pinch weld thing. It's all rotten away. I don't have the trim, but I did order, well, I got some. My buddy BW sent me some. So it's be in the mail here in the next week or so. I don't know. See how it is. Travel with, or shipping with Christmas is just brutal. It looks like it's kind of got some waves and stuff to it. My plan is just kind of zip it. Looks like it's a 1/2 inch or so. I'm just going to buzz a piece in. And if I have to bend it or do whatever after the fact to make the trim fit, so be it. I do have a bucket of trim that came with the car. This bucket. And I think I want to start laying it all out just to see what I have and what I don't have and make a bit of a plan. Because I have this, I have a bunch of stuff I found used in the US, which like I said BW is mailing me. And go from there. I think I'm going to pull the trigger and order brand new glass from Auto City Classics. They seem like they got a pretty good setup going. I think I'm going to go with the green tint. So get that going and figure out a way to get across the border and all those sort of things. But if I have all the trim and I have the glass, then we can move on to the bodywork part of this program once all the metal work's done. So that's kind of where we're headed. I mean, we're actually not too far away from starting to actually make it look decent. There is some stuff that needs to be done in the roof. It's you know, been whacked, so I got to pull that out and stuff. But otherwise, the roof looks pretty good. I don't think there's any rust holes. I think on this side, on the other side, there was a little bit maybe, but that's future video problems. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We'll get set up. We'll plug weld all those in. Better caps turn out nice, eh? And then yeah, get this all cleaned up 100% that we can start. I feel like this car is going to be built a couple of times. So they do it on TV, right? You build it all, take it apart, paint it, rebuild it. So that's the plan. All right, so here is the plan. We're gonna take the grindy grind and we're gonna get it all kind of cleaned up just in a few areas, and then just put a little carbide bit on the drill. It's a little Dremel tool, but kind of do in there just to clean the metal up a little bit. So I'll have some clean metal to weld to, and then I have a couple of tools. So this here is like a little copper spoon. So you put it on the back side, and you put it against on the inside of the hole, and then you can weld around and the weld will not stick to copper. And I have this one as well. Both of these Murray gave me. This one, unfortunately, because it's on this little peak, it's not the greatest, but this is great if you have like a flat piece that has magnets in it. You put it on and you can do whatever. It might fit in, like some of them, the holes are so up and down. Yeah, it's not bad. So we'll be doing that. Times dos. So, let's get it all cleaned up. Okie dokie, so now got it all cleaned up. So I believe, I don't know, but my 55 Chevy was a Bel Air, and these are the fenders are off, but who knows if they're original or not. We're dealing with like 60 some odd year old junk. Starting to lose my speech there. I'm so excited about welding. Let's get this in here. So put that copper backing in. Let's see if we can just weld this up. That worked pretty darn good. Let me do the other one here. So there's what we're trying to do. A little hot, but it's not too bad. And I mean right on this fold, I think you put some heat to it before it's going to cause any sort of warpage. Might turn the welder down just a little bit. I got set to 18 gauge, which is what this is, but I got the old volts cranked. So I'll set the camera up. I'll obviously finish plugging all those. It'll take a few minutes. Then we'll go over it. We'll try and gently shape it with the grinder, so it'll be close-ish. And then times 2, other side. Pretty simple. Oh, nice. You know, I forget I have these little things. The back here is a bit of pain, so that inner fender cut down to go through the backside. But it really, that copper piece, it must really soak the heat out of the metal as well. And then, I don't know if you guys do a lot of this, but you're kind of working your way around the hole slowly but surely, kind of filling it in. With the copper, you can just brrr, and it just whoop. Those are technical sounds I got from the Miller Welding Handbook. Anywho, we'll get set up on the other side and start giving her. I feel like there's going to be a bunch of holes in this door, because this is a Nomad door and it absolutely had trim in it. And I feel like this is going to have just a scotch of body filler in it. We're going to have to grind through. Well, I might have skipped ahead just a little bit. Gave everything a quick coat of paint. Hung it all up. So I mean, pretty simple. I just kind of scuffed it down, you know, blended it in. Now, bear in mind, the fender will cover here down completely. I just peeled up the little vent thing. I have to take the trim off to get it out properly, which I will do down the road, but this is just good enough for now. I mean, you'll have your, you know, hood bolts on right there. The inner fender goes right there, covers all this. If we have fender well exhaust, I mean, all this is really going to be hidden. All you're ever going to see is kind of here over, and even that, the hood will be up. You'll see just a little bit. We get the rubber goes across. I don't overthink it. It's going to be a driver. I've been really going hard. It's it'll be nice. It won't be perfect. The inner tubs, same thing. I mean, let's be honest. They were previously sandblasted with a kind of a semi-gloss. I got inside the fender. It's all good. The brace is good, top to bottom. You know, up in here is all black. It'll be easier to, you know, if we want to repaint that, we can down the road. Here, you can see that little line. This is where it joins to the core support with some, I don't know if I have them, some plates and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this I scuffed up the top, made it look kind of nice. Might put another coat in this before I go inside. But it's supposed to be really cold tonight and into tomorrow, so I'm just going to crank the heat, let this kind of paint dry overnight, and yeah, put the front clip back on, I guess. And then we'll focus on getting the last little bit of welding done. Well, rockers first thing. We'll weld in the glass pieces that we have to, fit all the trim, call our video, just kind of test fit and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I think it looks good. You know, proper paint would of course be better, but I think a nice, everything black, clean, sanitary, the nice, you know, aluminum head small block in there all painted up, it'll just look pretty decent. So that's where I'm leaving it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Next day. So the paint is all dry, obviously, and is the next day. It turned out, well, it turned out how it turned out. It'll get beat up and whatnot, but it's good enough for me. Good enough for it's for, which is me. So I do a little bit of cleaning up. I do want to put the front clip together today. We'll back on with the proper mounts. Maybe try and align the fender to the door and stuff like that. We might go out into the yard and see if we can track down a hood to put on this thing, at least set it on there. Make sure we got our gaps and all that right. Before we do that, I'm going to, myself real quick, I got to finish up in here where the rocker is. I got to weld that and grind that. You're never going to see in here, obviously the fender covers it, but on there we got to do the body work, and I think it's probably best to do that. Well, I know it's best to do that with the fenders off. So do that. I think this side's actually done. I want to go through this big tub of trim and whatnot I have. The pricing on some of these things are absolutely ridiculous, and I want to explain that to you guys because it doesn't make sense to me how these things can cost this much, but supply and demand. And as it turns out, even though this Nomad was beat to hell, I got a bunch of trim with it that apparently it's really worth some money, so I don't feel quite so bad about it. Anyway, I'm going to get this ground down real quick. I'll just set the fenders on, then we'll come back and start going from there. Look at that! Looks freaking good, if I don't say so myself. This is the splash pan that came with the car. Got a bit of a tear I gotta fix, but otherwise it's a pretty good shape. And underneath is all nice. I do have another one. This came off my 55. It's a little rustier. It's all got old undercoating on it. It's kind of beat, so I think we're further ahead to use that one. I got my winter hat on. I was just wrestling this hood. So I have two 255 hoods. This is the one that's in best shape. It's got a little bit of a bend down at the corner. I don't know if I did that or what. You can see by the water on it. It was frozen to the ground, and we have a Great Dane that likes to get on top of my hood pile, and well, I think she pushed her right down there and probably dented her up a little bit, but it's got the bird on it. It's pretty sweet. It's got the, you can see it's still the tarp. It's still all froze, so I just cut the tarp away. Little emblem. I don't have a hood bar. I gotta get that, just like I don't have the trim that goes around the grill. This is the grill that came with the Nomad. It's not bad. I think what people did for the 2-lane blacktop car is they masked this but painted that, so it gave it like that sharp kind of look. I might do that because it's pretty rusty. Let's have another one. I might have another one in the basement. I know I don't have any more trim because I had trouble finding trim for my 55. Huh? Much better. So anyway, we're gonna let this thaw out a little bit. I will have to paint under it, obviously. This was brown at some point, but this hood and these fenders were originally on my 55. So there you go. It lives on 5-6 years later, whatever it may be. So I think what we'll do, we'll let it cool off, let this warm up. I'll warm up inside. We'll put the hood on, and then we'll start kind of laying out all the trim and miscellaneous stuff that we got. Maybe a little bit of welding, and call it a night, because even though it hasn't been that much done, it's been a lot of friggin' work. This took me like half hour to dig out, because I didn't want to bend it. Ugh, old junk. Alright, we're outside here, so I jumped ahead and I cut out the rotten bit. Such as it was. Not much left. I did leave it. There was a good part at the end and essentially at the start, so I know front and back where we're gonna go. So it's just like a little pinch weld, just like it would be up here. And there's a couple holes in it that the trim at the back here will screw to. Now I don't have this piece of trim or this piece of trim yet. They are in the mail, on their way to me. In the meantime, I got this NOS original Nomad piece. No, it's junk street metal that I eyeball cut. So what am I gonna do there? Oh, I guess my cut was a little lame. Oh, no, we're good. So that's actually not too bad. Kind of eyeball it like a ½ inch. So I'll just mark the backside. We'll zip it. I'll clean it up with the flap disc, and we'll weld her in. Sounds like a plan, eh? Okay, so that's the piece in. Pretty freaking simple. I just kind of eyeballed it front and back. For the depth of it, with the flap disc, we can always fine tune it. This trim, obviously it's going to have to butt up against the underside of the roof and be in line with everything. You know, I'll show you on the other side real quick, but it should work out. See, this is all it is down here. It's the same idea. The trim will fit over, and there's these little screw holes where everything attaches to. Same way all the way up. There's some there. There. This is doubled. This doesn't, I mean, it's only single at the top, so I sit it there, but way she goes. Show out the other side. Well, the other side's gonna be covered with a piece of bent trim, which I probably should, well, I'll have to take off anyways to paint properly. You can just see there's screws across there. That's all it is. It's just single wall on that one too by the looks of it, because it has a little piece of angle. And that's that. I think I have this piece. This side I have everything, but I'm missing that piece on the other side. It's in the mail. This one needs to be straightened out just a little bit. But you know what? We'll go through all the stuff I have in that bin real quick. And I think I'm going to clean up a little because it's trashed in here, and we'll get on to the next project. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm sure I'll think of something. The car's not done yet. First of all, how good does this thing look with like a 2-lane blacktop hood scoop? I had this built years ago because I have 55, 2-lane blacktop car, and I run the tall scoop, but I was worried the cops were giving me a hard time, so I had buddy make a short one. This is 2.5 inches tall at the time. They've since changed our laws. a 2.5-inch scoop was the biggest you could have, so the dimensions are all the exact same, it's just not as tall, so I love it. Might as well screw that right on. So here's all the trim we got. So this stuff that came with the car, obviously. This is the front of the back window that I said I don't have, but on the other side. So I have it on that, I have it on the driver's side. We have, these go around the bottom, so I have both sides of that. So that one bottom piece, this top piece, and then both other pieces are on this side. So this side's done with this, and then I said I just need the two, which I think I had to get the one that's kind of like a hockey stick. I paid $125 or $130, something like that, American, just for one piece of trim used. So that was something. In this box is all the slats that go on the back of the tailgate. So they're kind of pitted, driver quality, but these came with the car as well. So these are, I think they're like, I don't know, $300-$400 maybe for a driver quality set on eBay that I found. And it has the center handle in that as well. And I found the button was in this, I believe. Maybe not. I did find the button. Oh, I might have put it in there. I found the center button, so that was pretty sweet. This is just some tailgate strap stuff, and it looks like a wing window crank, which is, I think, pretty much irrelevant. This, I think, I can make work. I think this is a 55 filler neck. This isn't Nomad stuff. That's just tripod stuff. Now here's where it gets, I don't really know what I got, and it gets all kind of complicated. So this piece fits at the top, and it's cut out for the tailgate. So I have the one side. This is the passenger, I guess. Yeah, I think so. And I bought the driver's side, and it wasn't cheap. I think it was $50 for one piece of, like, it's all pitted and all that stuff, just like this. So that's that. Then there's a bazillion. Oh, this is another piece that goes up the side of the tailgate that came with it. So this stuff here was all just loose in the car. Like, it was not organized. I didn't even know, when I bought the thing, I didn't know any of this stuff was with it. I assumed what it had is what it had. So it was like a nice little bonus after I find out that it's important I need it. These two run on the top side of the headliner, I believe. Or no, on the inside of the windows maybe? I don't know. Two of those, apparently they're the same. They're not super expensive, but I think they're unique to Nomad. I didn't have to price them out because I had them, so maybe they are a fortune. The guy told me this is where I lucked out. Even though they're kind of beat, these pieces here run, they're like your garnish molding for like on the inside of your door. So these run on the inside but of the wagon section of the big glass piece. So these are obviously Nomad only. I forget what he told me. So I said, oh, I got these. And he says, well, you just saved yourself $600, $800, something like that. So that's an expensive piece. Now, really, I think they just kind of look like hardtop stuff you can make and then kind of cut out. So I'm thinking a guy could just make these. So maybe I should start making them out of scrap four-door stuff. But whatever. So that's that. I believe all this stuff now is for the tailgate, I'm thinking. So I got that piece, and then there's a couple of side pieces. I don't really know how it works, but it looks like it all kind of goes like together like a box. So I have the upper, like the chrome piece. I think the chrome piece goes on, glass goes in with rubber, then this goes on, and it all sandwiches together because there's a bazillion studs in this back window piece. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's that. This is like how this is up top. This is on the bottom. So I have one. I think I have two. I hope I have two. Maybe I bought one. Oh yeah. Well, I got both of those. So I don't know if these are expensive as well. The guy, I didn't talk to him, but these will kind of butt up to this piece. So they join together. So we got all that. Unfortunately, I didn't have the trim that goes up the inside of the front of the window, so I had to buy those. They weren't cheap. And then these, I think these are Nomad only as well. These are the inner garnish molding for the doors, for Nomad doors. Now, the deal with Nomad doors, they're a sedan bottom with a hard top. So I guess this is kind of like sedan at the back and hard top at the front. I don't know. Apparently they're unique as well. But I got them and they're in decent shape. So that's a pretty big win. And what else we got going on? Huh. I thought I had another piece to that back glass. I guess I only have the one. If that's even what this is, which I'm pretty sure. It must fit together somehow. We could all just play together and see what happens. I don't know. But that's all that. I must have it somewhere else. So that's a pile of trim we got. And like I said, I have another bit of trim, which was like $500 or $600 American. And by the time I got it, was like $750 for like 4 pieces of tin. But what do you do? I really hope I didn't lose a piece there. I thought I had it. Here it is. Knew I had it. Yeah. So this. And then this is the back glass piece, which unfortunately is broken. Right here. I think I can braze it back together or something. Ugh. But there's a bazillion studs that go the whole way around, or maybe it's both. I don't know what. I'll have to look at some pictures. But I'm thinking this stuff must line up here somehow. Oh yeah, no, it does for sure. Oh, mint actually lines up there. So that's obviously how that's gonna go. So I think that the glass just fits in there with the rubber channel. This goes on, that goes on, and then this must go on the top of it. Or bottom, I don't know what side's up or down, to be honest with you. This must fit like that somehow. Oh yeah, the bolt holes all line up. Unless it goes like this. It's got a bit of a curve to it. That's the way she goes. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. So I have the whole back glass piece, so like this piece here, not broken, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fix this. But these are like $500 on eBay, it seems like, just for the, I assume just for this piece. Little all this junk. So I think I got a fair bit of good stuff here. I mean, I think if you were to part it out, it's probably $1,500 or $2,000 worth of just this trim and whatnot. I have all the glass trim on the inside, which is chrome, which is nice. The A-pillars, which is chrome. So I think I did okay, just in trim alone, and then the roof and the VIN came with it. So that's where we're at right now. I'm waiting on brake stuff. Should be here in a couple of days. Lost in the mail because of Christmas, I guess. So Rock Auto stood up and that just resent me everything. So if the other stuff comes, keep it. Love those guys. So we're waiting on rear brakes. And once the rear brake's done, we can bleed the whole system because it's plumb ready to go. I got to jack it up, measure for a drive shaft. I talked to my drive shaft guy, Ryan. I already told him what I need. He's just waiting on the measurement, which is me being lazy. So he's ordered the ends and all that for me. So that's done. I have a ratchet shifter, which I know people don't really like, but that's what I got. Seats, a few little things like that. Haven't pulled the trigger on the glass yet. I'll probably do that next week or something like that. And really, we're getting there. This thing will be, I think I'll be able to run and drive, depending on what I do with the rad and all that. But I mean, at least go forward and backwards by Christmas, which is a pretty big achievement as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. I've made my list of stuff I need. I think I've ordered everything I don't have for trim-wise. Obviously, I don't have the fender trim because it's a bazillion dollars. But there you go. That's where I'll leave it for now. I gotta think what I want to do next. Start the next project. Probably be, I guess, look at the transmission, measuring a drive shaft, and all those things. Unless the brakes come early, that'd be sweet. Thanks for watching. As always, leave a comment below, and I will see you on the next video.